Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing another Dragons of Tarkir Swiss draft. Um, we opened Clone Legion. I don't think that's first pick. It looks like a pretty clear Vulturous Aven. Next closest might be Belltoll Dragon. I think Stampeding Elkherd is pretty good, and Coat with Venom is of course pretty good too. But I like the Vulturous Aven, so I'm fine picking it here too. You get a lot for 4 mana. You get a flying creature at worst. That's a 2/3, already a pretty good cost. But on top of that, getting the draw 2, lose 2 is pretty nice with the exploit. So we're just gonna first pick a Vulturous Aven. Okay, follow-up pick. Well, let's see some of our best options here. I immediately look at the Sarkhan's Rage. Other good cards in here. I mean, Butcher's Glee rather, on color with Vulturous Aven is fine, but Sarkhan's Rage definitely seems like the superior pick. And I think it's actually the best card in this pack, to be honest. Not too many other options that are super close. I don't like second picking something that doesn't coincide with my first pick's color, but I think Sarkhan's Rage is got to be the pick here. It certainly seems like the strongest card, so let's take that. Okay, so let's look at picks now. There's Mirror Mockery, not terribly exciting. Same with Meringue River, Skeleton, not all that exciting. I could take the Stormwing Dragon. I don't really like it all that much, but there's Bowmasters as well, which are presumably just the best card in this pack. And no one took it yet. Huh. I mean, I'm not the biggest Stormwing Dragon fan. I don't really like this cycle all that much. Even the best ones, the Belltoll and the Spirit, or the Shield one or whatever, not my favorite. They're only okay in my mind. Whereas I'm a big fan of the Bowmaster. I think I'm going to go Bowmaster. It's a third pick. It's early enough. I still want to sort of see what's open, what's going on. All right, I like the Outrider. That card's good. A couple good white picks here. There's also a Glade Watcher. I definitely like the Outrider. I'm okay picking it here. I mean, Cunning Breeze Dancer is very strong, but oddly enough, it's the two colors I haven't picked yet, so it certainly doesn't seem like the correct pick unless I'm going 5 color right away. I'm fine taking the Outrider. Not insane, but certainly acceptable. And green-red Formidable could be the correct direction I'm supposed to go. But let's take the Outrider. I'm okay with that. I like him enough. I like him more than the Glade Watcher too, I'm pretty sure. Okay, we've got Dragon Fodder, which is fine. Lightning Berserker is also fine. I think I like Dragon Fodder more. Explosive Vegetation if I wanted to splash a Vulturous Aven. I don't think that's out of the realm of reason, but I think I'm going to take the Dragon Fodder. I actually like it quite a bit. And I could still theoretically end up black-red, in which case this is good exploit fodder. But yeah, I'm fine taking Dragon Fodder here. I think I like it more than the Berserker. I actually like the Berserker quite a bit, but I think synergistically speaking, Dragon Fodder is going to open me up for some more stuff. I actually like Volcanic Vision quite a bit. Gotten a chance to play with it before, and I like it. I also like Seismic Rupture as well, but I think the upside of Volcanic Vision is quite a bit higher actually than Seismic Rupture. And if I end up green-red, I think I'm going to be happier with the Volcanic Vision pick. So basically, I'm just kind of solidifying myself into red, which I think at this point is probably correct. And then I can sort of see what's wheeling to get a better idea of what my second or maybe third color, if it comes to that, is supposed to be. Like I could take Sheltered Airy here. I don't really like the Sadist very much. Couple good white, like decent white picks. I do think Surge of Righteousness is, of course, a good sideboard card. Owen Turtenwald would say it's a main deckable card. That cycle mostly, minus the display of dominance. But I'm actually okay with a Sheltered Area here. I'm not really passing anything of real substance, and Sheltered Area could move me into more of a mid-rangey green-red thing, and I could still splash with it too, so I kind of like it. Okay, I'll take the tabled explosive actually, I guess we're not at tabled yet, but I'm going to take the explosive vegetation here regardless. It actually works reasonably well with Volcanic Vision, believe it or not, which is kind of funny. It moves you right into the next turn, play a land, Volcanic Vision for 4. It's actually kind of good. So I'll take Explosive Vegetation. I'm okay with that. All right, Sight of the Scale Lords. Let me think about this. We do have Bowmasters, not Outrider. Oh, okay. A little bit low on creatures at the moment to make that work. I could take Custodian. It doesn't really work all that well with formidable creatures, but it's a fine card. It works pretty well with the fight cards in green. I think I'll take it. It's certainly good if I end up in a good mid-rangey plan, which I think is possible. I could take Volcanic Rush. I got to play that alongside Volcanic Vision before, and I kind of liked it. We also do have a Dragon Fodder, and we could potentially pick up some more. Honestly, it's not really looking like a deck that wants Volcanic Rush, but I've been kind of impressed with Volcanic Rush. Otherwise, Dragonlord Servant, which not that exciting, or Vial of Dragonfire, which is also not that exciting. I actually like Volcanic Rush. I think I'm going to take it. All right, there's Idle, but I think Kindled Fury is a pretty legitimate trick most of the time, so we can take that. Not really interested in any of these. I guess I'll take the Tomb Shell, maybe. Profound Journey we'll take, sure. Ancient Carp, okay. I mean, late blue picks, but they're not really insane blue picks by any means. So after pack 1, I kind of feel like I want to be in green-red, but I already have the means to splash for a really solid 3-color build. So if something's like super open that's not green or red, I'm pretty sure I can make that work. I don't think Profound Journey is like the strongest card in the world, especially on the splash. Deathbringer Regent's pretty strong though. It's a nice little board wipe. Problem, of course, being it requires quite a bit of creatures, which we don't really have. Otherwise, I can take a second Dragon Fodder and start making this Volcanic Rush a bit better. I'm trying to think how realistically I can make a tokeny build work. Not exactly sure. I can take the Deathbringer Regent and move into Jund. I mean, with double ramp already, there's quite a bit of upside to playing the Deathbringer Regent. You get to destroy all the other creatures on board. You know what? I think I'm going to take it just because I already feel like I'm in a position to splash. I know splashing double black seems problematic, but I'm not sure yet how difficult that's going to be. If I don't have a bunch of super color intensive spells, I think I'll be able to make it work. And it certainly seems like the most exciting pick here. Otherwise, I'm trying to build what? Like some sort of red token build or something with Dragon Fodder? I'm going to take Deathbringer Regent. Okay, actually pretty good picks here. Swift Warkite, I think, is just going to get the go-ahead. Otherwise, Silumgar Butcher's fine. And we have a monument that's on color. That's also fine. But I actually think I like the Swift Warkite. Admittedly, we don't have creatures yet that it can really bring back, but... Wait, converting costs 3 or less? Guess technically I could bring back a Custodian of the Trove, but that's okay. We'll take the Swift Warkite. It's fine. It's a good card, actually. Ooh, Salt Formation. Let me think about this. Otherwise I take Rending Volley or Stampeding Elkherd. I haven't gotten to play Assault Formation yet. I've played against it, and I think it's actually a pretty strong card, especially with some ramp elements. It certainly works well with Custodian. Doesn't work so well with Outrider. But I think I'm going to take Assault Formation here. It actually works pretty well with dragon fodder. I know they're just 1/1 still, but you can pump them. You can basically pumps all your creatures. Yeah, I actually think Assault Formation's the right pick here. I've seen it do some pretty nasty things. All right, Illusory Gains is in here, but not really interested in that. Ancestral Statue. Owen Turtenwald, I read something he wrote that made a pretty good point about this card. At the very least, it's a good sideboard card against pacifism or reduce in stature, which isn't a bad thought. I don't think there's really anything else in here I'm super interested in, so we'll take it. I could wheel it and hate an Illusory Gains. That could be annoying against us. We have a fairly low creature count, so Illusory Gains could be annoying. Yeah, I guess I'll hate it. I'm not that hard up for an Ancestral Statue. I feel like I'm likely to be able to see another one. Okay, so I could take Glade Watcher. We're a little bit short on creature count, which makes Glade Watcher a little bit more problematic, but Guardian Shieldbearer is not the most exciting pick here either. I think I'll take the Glade Watcher. I need some more early plays. I mean, technically Shieldbearer is too, but I think I'm just going to take Glade Watcher. It's a much better defensive card. Okay. I'll take Sandstep Scavenger here. Seems fine. I can take Dramoka's Gift. I think we're actually, at this point, we're looking like a pretty good Seismic Rupture deck. We only have 1 2 toughness guy. I guess Scavenger kind of is, but not really on an empty board. I guess it kills my Dragon Fodder too, but it's a pretty powerful effect against hyper aggro decks. Otherwise, I take like a Tormenting Voice or a Dramoka's Gift, but I'm going to take the Rupture. We have a pretty good late game plan already with Swift Warkite, Deathbringer Regent, and Volcanic Vision being another big board wipe. Volcanic Vision bringing back Seismic Rupture, and then dealing 3 to my opponent's creatures and having Seismic Rupture back. I guess it's not all that good, but it's something I can do. All right, Marsh Hulk. Actually, I guess it's a pretty easy Colossadon Yearling with Assault Formation. Let's try and take advantage of that. And it actually works well with Seismic Rupture as well. Okay. I convinced myself. Seems like a good pickup. I'm not unhappy with where we're at. I think we could be better. But I think we can make a game plan out of this. I certainly need some more creatures. 9 is a pretty low creature count. I guess Swift Warkite can also bring back Colossadon Yearling, though, which is kind of nice. I think Pinion Feast is actually just the correct pick here. It's a removal spell that I think I could probably main deck, and I don't have to. Otherwise, I take a Lose Calm, which is okay with Vulturous Aven or something, but I think I'd rather have Pinion Feast. And I'm willing to main deck it for now. All right, I'm going to take a second Custodian. It just seems like a good pick to something that interacts with Swift Warkite. It interacts with Assault Formation in a kind of positive way, at least defensively. No, actually offensively too, because I can attack with defenders. So yeah, Custodian and Assault Formation actually have some very good synergy together. I can take Spider Silk Net. This is actually another card that works well with Assault Formation. But I may need... Do I need the Storm Singer? I probably don't need the Storm Singer. I probably don't need the Spider Silk Net either, though, to be honest. I guess we'll take Storm Singer, just in case for some reason I don't end up with enough creatures. I can play it in a pinch. All right, we tabled the Ancestral Statue, so I'm pretty happy about hating the Illusory Gains at this point. Resupply seems more playable than that other card. Sure. Fate Forgotten's actually an out to Assault Formation, so that seems correct. All right, kind of an interesting little brew we've got going on right now. Admittedly, the only things that are black are Vulturous Aven, Swift Warkite, and Deathbringer Regent, but they all still seem like cards I'd likely want to play. All right, let's think about this. So I can take Abzan Kinguard. Technically, I could have black permanents. Not a very exciting pack for us. Could also take the Temur Battle Rage, but A little bit low in the creature count department to really make that work. Otherwise, I could take Mardu Scout, but not good interaction with Assault Formation by any means. But it might just be the best pick. I kind of need some more early plays. I actually think Abzan Kinguard is a fine card, but 4 or 5 drops I think will come a little bit easier, whereas finding 2 drops, especially ones I don't want to play against anyway, like Mardu Scout, I think is probably just correct. Ooh, Pyrotechnics is a pretty awesome pass. So giving up a Bathe and a Douse in Gloom, which likely both don't come around, but can't really complain because I just picked up Pyrotechnics, so I'm fine with that. Ooh, Dramoka. You know, Dramoka is absolutely worth a splash, especially in a deck that's got Explosive Vegetation and Sheltered Area, so we're just going to slam pick that. I guess that's one advantage of having good ramp cards. Like I can run 1 Plains comfortably, and with Sheltered Area and Explosive, I have 3 ways to get it, and I probably table a map the ways too. So kind of an awkward position going straight up 4-color likely, but at the same time I'm picking up a pretty powerful card in Dramoka, so no real issue there. Alright, I think I actually want this Bloodfell Caves. There is a Destructor Dragon, which is good. And I guess there's Shamanic Revelation too, but I'm a little bit short on the creature count. I guess I have 14 with Dragon Fodder. I'm thinking Bloodfell Caves is correct because it helps fix for black. But I guess Sheltered Area just straight up casts Deathbringer Regent anyway. I mean, otherwise I take Destructor Dragon or Shamanic Revelation. Is that right? I actually think Shamanic Revelation's pretty good, but we don't have a ton of 4-power guys. I feel like helping our mana base, since we already have a deck, is probably just going to be the most helpful. So let's help our mana base out and just take this Bloodfell Caves. Alright, I can take an Angler. I'm okay with that. Not really much else we care about, to be honest, so okay. Happily take an Angler. We have enough ramp to make that work pretty easily. Alright, I could take Grim Contest. It's going to pair well with Assault Formation and Double Custodian. Yeah, I think Grim Contest is actually just correct. What are the weakest cards in our deck at the moment? I guess probably the Mardu Scout at this point. I'm not ashamed that I picked it, but it doesn't seem in line exactly with the rest of the deck now. And I guess the Storm Singer's not all that good either. But let's take this Grim Contest pretty happily. And although we have a low creature count, I still think that's likely okay. Okay, we can take Blossoming Sands. And that actually is another way to help make Dramoka work a little bit better in this deck. Otherwise, Hewed Stone Retainers is an option that works fairly well with ramp spells, but I think I'd rather have the Blossoming Sands. Alright, Bloodfell Caves number 2. Otherwise, I take a Pharaoh Krushak, but... Or I guess could take a Hungering Yeti. It works in this deck too. But I'm going to take the Bloodfell Caves. So some people would say I should run 18 lands. I think with a Sheltered Area and an Explosive Vegetation, having 2 ramp spells plus 17 lands means 19 cards in my deck are going to be ramp of some sort. So here I'm going to take Return to the Earth. With Pinion Feast, it's some good sideboard green action. Could also be I want to cut Kindled Fury for a creature maybe. Like maybe I do run the Scout. Or the Storm Singer since it's not as color intensive. Certainly an interesting deck. I guess Mardu Scout works better alongside Seismic Rupture because that way I can dash and still, or wipe the board and then dash, or dash and wipe board the next turn or something. You get the idea. I don't basically have to play Mardu Scout onto the board. I don't really need any of these. I think I'm going to hate the best card. I don't really need a War Beast. Even though I'm creature light, I don't think that's a big deal in this deck. Actually, you know, Volcanic Rush does not seem very good in this deck, so could probably bring back a Storm Singer, I guess. I'm going to hate the Sky Captain, which I think is actually just the best card. Harsh Sustenance definitely seems like the best card remaining here. I guess technically I could play Harsh Sustenance since I am splashing Dramoka, but Harsh Sustenance doesn't seem like a great splash in this deck, in my opinion. I could take Formless Nurturing. It's actually probably a better card in our deck than, say, Marty Scout or Storm Singer. I don't really think Storm Singer is all that good. My problem with Marty Scout is the fact that it's double red, but it's okay. None of these cards really matter all that much. Guess I'll take the Rune Mark. Owen said Sage's Reverie is actually a good card, so I was surprised about that because I've never really given it much of. I don't want you to think I'm like changing my entire draft outlook based on Owen Turtenwald articles, but he did bring up some, in my opinion, pretty interesting points that I at least wanted to consider. So let's see here. I've actually got 3 dragons, which is nice for Sarkhan's Rage, but let's take a look here. I actually think our deck's pretty good. Despite being 3 color, which I'm usually a little bit averse to in this format, I think we managed to make a pretty nice one actually with double Bloodfell Caves, Blossoming Sands. We can pretty easily splash our 4 black cards rather. I think Dramoka is also going to be a pretty easy splash. And Grim Contest I guess is black too. But we can pretty easily focus on I think we can pretty easily focus on our red and green and just splashing the black and white, of course. I think with 1 Plains, Blossoming Sands, and Explosive Vegetation plus Sheltered Area, we should be fine. Absolutely fine in the white department. We'll have more than enough to play Dramoka, who I'm very happy we picked up. I think this card's absolutely worth splashing. We were pretty well set up to splash with Sheltered Area and Explosive Vegetation. I still like Volcanic Vision in this deck too. It actually is. Explosive Vegetation works just fine with Volcanic Vision. I actually think that's pretty good synergy, believe it or not. It lets you play it on turn 5 and deal 4 damage to all your opponent's creatures, which is really nothing to scoff at. Let's bring in the Bloodfell Caves. So I need green, I need red, and then we're going to be splashing black and white. I already have 2 black sources. Let's try and figure out this mana base. So this would be, I don't like 6 green. Let's, we don't need the white. 1, 2, 3. This would be 7 sources of red, 8 sources of green, 3 sources of black, 2 sources of white, and that's not including any of our green ramp. I think this is actually pretty acceptable. 8 green rather, 7 red is pretty good for the bulk of our deck, and then the 3 black and the 2 white alongside our Sheltered Area and Explosive Vegetation, I would think would be more than enough to make the Deathbringer Regent work. I guess one issue with not playing 2 swamps is if I really need 2 swamps for Deathbringer Regent, Explosive Vegetation cannot dig that up if I only run one swamp. I can see that being an issue. But I think we're still going to be okay. I guess maybe I should run 1 more black. Yeah, I guess Explosive Vegetation being able to dig up 2 black mana could be something I could kick myself over if I don't have it. Kind of think I want to cut a red though, which brings me down to 6 red, which I admit could be a problem, but I think this is how I'm going to do it. I'm pretty sure I want 8 green, because I really need to be able to cast my Sheltered Area and Explosive Vegetation, or else could have a big problem there. Do I want to run Harsh Sustenance? I don't think I do. I'm trying to think what the weakest cards in our deck rather is. I actually really like the Double Custodian because we look like a deck that needs to buy some time. I'm not a big fan of Sabertooth Outrider in this deck. It's still a very good card. I mean, yeah, this isn't really a deck for it, especially with Assault Formation, but same can be argued about Mardu's Scout. Guess I could run Wandering Tomb Shell as more defense. It also pairs well with Assault Formation. It might actually be correct. I think Outrider's a better card than Scout, but for curve purposes, maybe I guess I only have 6 sources of red. That makes Mardu Scout a little more questionable. Grim Contest. Now that I'm looking at it, it actually seems like Wandering Tomb Shell is the correct card for this deck. And then I probably cut Mardu Scout. I think our curve is okay. I'm sure there's going to be people telling me I should run 18 lands, but I don't really agree. Like I said, Sheltered Area and Explosive Vegetation are 2 additional cards in the deck that only purpose is to ramp me. So I count them as at least half a mana source. So even if you don't want to count them as full mana sources themselves, even if you count them as half a mana source, that's 18 lands in my mind. So I'm gonna be running at 17 lands, and we're a little bit clunky in the 4-drop department. I'm trying to think if there's something I can do about that. I'm not sure that I can. I think we're probably just gonna run it like this: 14 creatures with the dragon fodder. So 4 main deck ways to get black, Beyond the Sheltered Area, and Explosive Vegetation. I do want the 8 green mana. 6 red seems okay. Could have some mana issues with this deck. I can't, certainly cannot deny that, but it's an interesting deck nonetheless. So I think I'm going to ultimately run it like this. And I think we can just win on the back of some cards like Dromoka or Swift Warkite or Deathbringer Regent. So I'm certainly interested to see how this deck performs. And we'll see you round 1.